enough.
Yes.
And not to hash a bad state, because it was a terrible time, and the things that happened in that period, people are still living with it until today. And that was the genocide that happened in Rwanda. One of those instances, one of the individuals that was then indicted plus interdicted, all of these things happening, and then charged and sentenced by the ICC, was a radio journalist. He spoke, these are the airwaves. I can't control who is listening to me. I am going to say something, but, and I don't want to use the phrase, because I think even in Rwanda today, the phrase is still banned. You can't use it in public. But what he said was akin to killing people. How, in that case, would because the legal matter for us to try and understand, how would you then be able to protect? Because how would you then link what he said on radio over those couple of days to what happened in the streets? Because the radio waves fall on all ears. How would you say that this person acted because of what they heard on radio?
Actually, that every case is interpreted differently.
Okay.
And of course, there is the action itself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the most difficult part is proving all the elements of a case. Yes, it's very clear that someone could come to a media station like SpiceFM that has an international viewership beyond the national viewership, and there are things that are pronounced and they are acted upon. Now that is where now we go back to the ingredients of this crime under Section 96 of the Penal Code. How then do you prove the onus between the words spoken and the actions?
Sorry, where does the delivery of common sense come in all of this legal thing? And I'm not being facetious. I'm actually asking that can't you see a clear connection between something someone said and then a requisite and not a requisite and an action? Wouldn't you then be able to see, okay, obviously that there's a line between this and this, the very words one is purported to have said, and something that happened, nobody else said it that we can hear, that's in the public arena?
So it will depend on the witnesses that will be called.
Okay.
And because you see, a case is also one, like I said, on evidence and the witnesses. If it can be proved that the persons who acted based on that incitement or communication, then it can be construed as an incitement to violence.
How would you prove that they didn't?
That is the difficult part about criminal law. That criminal law, the threshold of proving a criminal case is very much huge as compared to maybe other cases. But I believe there are so many other laws, and of course there is the integrity, the leadership and the integrity. The Constitution is very broad, and we are able to see how best. Of course, even the Integration Act, the NCIC, they are able to summon and be able to connect to give a connection between what you spoke and the action. But like I've stated, Kaluma himself came out. Like in this case, we are narrowing down to Peter Kaluma. He came out and stated that he was misquoted, that the context upon which he spoke was with regards to protecting his electorates from outsiders' interference. Of course, this is something that can be quantified. And we must also differentiate between political statements and political incitements. For example, if you say that, do not allow these people to get into our political territory, what is the meaning of do not allow these people to get into our political territory? And if they come to our political territory, kill them. So someone could interpret that. Of course, that is the legalese. The reality on the ground is that there is political bad manners, and they are getting away with this political bad manners because one of the hardship in collecting and collating this evidence to prosecute a case. Number two, it's because of political interference, because a crime is a crime based on what political divide you are in, because who are actually
Regardless,
the actors?
yeah.
Who are actually the actors? You know, criminal offenses are against the state.
Yep.
Criminal offenses are unlike the civil cases where it's private, an individual versus an individual. But in criminal cases, it's a crime against the state. So it is a republic versus Peter Wasaga or Peter Kaluma in this context, and that is without prejudice.
Yeah.
So what happens is that these politicians, and depending on their political divides, the state is represented by the ODPP. So if the ODPP is not independent, then you will understand the frustration the opposition have, to an extent that they are now calling upon the ICC to come. Number two, before this case is taken to the ODPP to prosecute, you also need an investigator.
Yep.
So an investigator will be there to collect the evidence, and you call them IO, the investigating officer. And after collecting this evidence, for example, where is that audio, the unedited audio, the raw audio, the translation of that audio? You may not get it because which phone actually shared it. Yeah. Will that person be ready and willing to come and testify, to hand his phone over for forensic analysis and to have it used as exhibit? They will be running away. So in that case, the IO has already compromised this case. And